Are you guys trying to figure out why your relationship is so chaotic? It seems like a roller coaster of things. You feel like you're losing out, and you're afraid that if you leave the person that things are gonna be bad, but if you stay with the person, you might lose a few decades of your life. You're like, why is this tension always in my relationships? Well, today I'm gonna be talking about some things that you should be aware of when you're dating a narcissist. And so these are some things that you need to watch out for and need to reconsider about your relationship. And so we're going to jump in some things that you need to be aware of. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Keanon, Slade, and I successfully achieved FIRE. That is, I've achieved financial independence, retired early, and I'm here in sunny Costa Rica. It's this sunny morning. The sun is just moving. And so the thing that you should know is I'm a life coach that helps good guys build a great life outside the United States. So no matter whether it is Costa Rica, Philippines, or any other famous destination, you really should be aware that there's some things that you need to think holistically about. It's not just about your FIRE numbers. It's not just about picking one of those places. It's about things such as your relationship. So today we're going to be talking about some problems that you need to be aware of in your relationships that can affect your utopia. So let's get into it. The reason why this is so important to me is honestly because I've lived it. And these are some of the things of lessons learned after years of counseling and talking to my friends, my closest friends, like, look, you need to be aware of this is not just a normal thing with all women sort of speech. Sometimes as men, we get into, oh, that's just how women act. No, that's just the ones you seek act, or the ones that you're attracted to, or the ones that you attract. Those same thing with men on the other side, because narcissism doesn't care about gender. It's a personality thing. And so you need to be aware of, these are some 7 signs that you need to be aware that you're potentially dating a narcissist. I want to stop you real quick just to say something to my divorced men. If you guys are looking for something that will help you after you've been divorced, separated, heck, even dumped, and you're still looking to move abroad and you're trying to figure out how do you adjust and to deal with this, I want to have something special for you because honestly, going through that situation, I want to give you something a little bit different because your journey is different. And you can find that information in the link below, and let's get into the rest of the video. So the first point is the double standard. And this is a big one because you'll get to with someone and there is a double standard. Now, this may or may not necessarily mean they're narcissists, but again, I want you guys to watch to the very end because I'm putting some things together that will actually help you in your journey. And so the double standard in a narcissist is they're allowed to do whatever they want to do. And it will be justified. If there is some reason, even if it makes sense or not, they're allowed to do it. But if you try to pull the same thing, then it's like, I would never do that to you. Like, yes, you did. And then the gaslighting, which we'll get into, which means that they'll be like, that never happened. And so what the double standard is that you never really have a balanced relationship. You have one relationship where it's always favored in the other person's way. And so when you're dating them, you'll realize, oh, I thought that was acceptable to our relationship because you do it. No. They can do it, but you can't do it. And so you need to be aware that this is potentially a very toxic place to be. So like I said, they may or may not be a narcissist, but it's still a very toxic environment where they're able to do things that are probably not good for either one of you to do. But if they're doing stuff like lying and then you like tell a little white lie, there's no such thing as a white lie, but just go with my example. But you tell a white lie, a little white lie, and it's like, how could you do that? You hurt me to the soul. But you're lying about every single thing. And so you need to be aware that these are some of the gotchas and some of the things that you'll find that can really be toxic to your relationship. And so if you guys are resonating with what we're talking about today and realizing that this moving abroad, getting your numbers and FIRE are just a small portion of things that you need to consider. And your relationship is pretty huge because that is one of the reasons why your utopia fails you, is having a bad relationship. Then I want you guys to watch to the very end of the video so that you can see there is a bigger picture that you need to consider when you're talking about moving abroad. So with that, let's get into the next point. And this point is big. Number 2 would be the cycle of improvement and then causing harm. And so this is big when in a narcissistic relationship. When you're in a typical relationship, there's no perfect relationship. So be aware of that. This is why you need to kind of watch the whole video, because a typical relationship, it's learning curve. So it's going to look bad to you. Like, oh, they do this. It's bad. And let's talk about it. Let's potentially go get help in counseling. I always recommend help counseling and coaching. Yeah, it might sound biased because I'm one, but really it does help in all areas of life, because you can spend 20 years or 15 years or whatever number that you think of that's bad, 5 years in this bad place. But if you would have got help, you would have had additional tools that would be able to help you and your partner to come out of it in a healthy relationship. And so in a typical relationship, as I was saying, it was like, okay, they're cute, they're great. And then 3 months in, oh, they do this bad thing. Okay, but it's not that bad. It's okay, bad. And then, but eventually you decide to seek help after, let's say, 6 months, a year, that you're planning to marry this person, go with my example, and you'll see them change. And yeah, they'll slip because it's something that they've probably been doing for the rest of their life, but you'll eventually see them get out of that situation until they're free of whatever it is. And they're changing, and maybe they need to help out around the house, and they didn't start out because they didn't grow up like that. If whatever it is, they'll change, and you'll see that, okay, yeah, they messed up this week, 3 times this week, and I'm not recommending you counting, but this is an example. They messed up 10 times this week, but by this time they're only messing up maybe twice, and then eventually we're going months before they do that. And it's normally when they had a hard day at work, and that's a completely different scenario now. And so, but in a narcissistic relationship, it's act like everything is going well. Okay, I'm going to help out around the house. Okay, it's great because you forced me to go to counseling, or we went to counseling. I said I was going, but really I didn't want to go, and I just agreed because I knew that the relationship would probably end. And so I'm just going to stay up here and do all the stuff in the house. Okay, we've been in counseling. You're good. You're happy. Okay, I need some drama. We're not cleaning, we're not cleaning, we're not taking care of nothing, we're not feeding, we're not cooking, we're not doing that. Matter of fact, we're gonna argue about how you should have da-da-da-da-da, and we did it. Okay, we're back in counseling, or things have gotten so bad that you explode, and I've got my fill of drama. Okay, we're gonna come back up, we're doing good. Before, in the first cycle, I was helping out 7 days a week, but on this cycle, I'm helping out maybe 5. I'm at 5, okay, and you're happy with 5 because you were getting 0, and so you're good, you're happy. Okay, I'm going to take you in some harm, and now next cycle, and I'll come back again. I'm doing maybe 2 to 3 times. I'm helping out, but you're happy because you were at 0, and we just had that big blowing out. We went to counseling, and so at the end of the thing, as a person on the receiving side of the abuse, you're like, well, at least they're working out 1 time a week, and I know that I'm doing 78, 90% of the relationship cleaning up. It's not just about cleaning up. I'm doing the cooking. I'm doing everything. I'm working. I'm keeping everything. That's a narcissistic trick, because they're the ones that put you in the pain, and then when it comes out, it's less than what you agreed upon, what they're supposed to grow to, but you're just happy that they're doing something. And so if they come out like the man or the woman, like, oh, at least they're helping out, and you go and celebrate, he started helping out again. It was 1 time a week, and he was supposed to do 7, or she was supposed to do 7. And so those are the things that you really have to be aware of. And one of the things that may help, you got to get help because you may not realize this. Your body, there's some chemistry going on. Your body your mind doesn't realize it, because it's like, okay, we're doing better. Are you really? Yeah. You really need professional help, and honestly, you may need to write this down. Honestly, I would recommend writing it down, because you won't even realize that the original agreement was that you help out 7 days a week, and now you're dealing with 1 or none, and it's that spotty 1. And so you need to be able to realize that these are some of the tricks that a narcissistic pulls. And so, guys, if you're resonating with this, I want you guys to click on the link below, because when you're talking about fire and relocating, I want you to realize that you gotta think outside the box. Another way of putting it, you gotta think more holistically to your approach. And so whoever you go on this journey with, you need to realize that, are they really right for you, or they're trying to get what they want? Now, I don't actually go on that with the document, but you have to realize that there's some things that you do need to consider. I do talk about some things that you really need to consider, to think outside the box, and not just about your firing number, not just about your location, but there are other things that are probably, if not more important, to actually make your utopia better. And I want you guys to click on the link below so that you will have some tools. So the next point would be gaslighting. And gaslighting is when, it actually came from I think it was 1960 movie, I can't remember. It was about the movie was about and don't quote me if I'm wrong, because I wasn't born in 1960, I just remember reading about, like, where did this term come from? It was about a guy where they used to have, instead of electricity, I don't have any lights in view, but where they had electricity, instead of electricity, they actually had gas lighting. So if you go to a park, there would be, instead of electric light bulb in there, it'd be a gas. Or if you go outside your front door, you know how much money you got, you would have a thing where, to light your way, there would be like a candle, if you will. And so it stay lit by gas, and you can increase it, make it lower, and so forth and so on. In the movie, the guy tricked the woman to making her think she was crazy. He would go out and manipulate the gas thing, and whenever she would talk about it, and he would be like, no, it's always that. It's always been that way. It hasn't changed. It must be something that you think. And because it's such a minute differences, or it changed from this one to the next point, or you change the conversation, your mind starts to become confused. And so, just like the movie, that's what it is. When you are in a relationship and the person is gaslighting you, no, I never agreed to doing that. I'm like, yes, you did. That's how we got in this particular situation in the first place. You said, if I bought the house, then you were going to do this. I bought the house, and now you're telling me you didn't agree to that? And so there was nothing in there. There was no balance. Those are the things that, man, are detrimental to you, because what a good narcissistic person, and I don't mean good as in, I mean good at their job, and people are people, so I'm not judging anyone, but what I'm saying is you need to be prayed up, you need to be aware, because a narcissistic person will have you actually question biblical stuff that, like, you'll be following their north. They're like, oh, today I think the sky is blue, or purple. You're like, it's blue. No, it's purple. Well, maybe I'm colorblind. Maybe everything that is purple. That is some true gaslighting. And you'll see it in a lot of little stuff. It will probably start out small, and then it'll get a little bit bigger to agreements. And it really matters when you don't have anything written down. And unfortunately, I had to get into particular parts in my relationship where it was like, and this is not a sign of a healthy relationship. So where I had to literally write stuff down, because it was like, you said this. No, I didn't. Okay, here is the document. And now you don't want to be in a relationship with this, but this is something that you end up finding yourself in, because it helps you're trying to prove yourself that you're not crazy, because you're like, we did agree with this. Yes, it happened to be 3 weeks ago, and da-da-da-da-da, and you're trying to change the subject, but really this is what it is. And, oh, I didn't understand when I signed and wrote that up. I mean, it will never be like, oh yeah, my bad. No, that's not a narcissist. Narcissist will defend that lie until the very bitter end. And so the gaslighting and being manipulated through the gaslighting is a big one that you need to be aware of. And this is really toxic to your mind. This is considered a form of abuse, because it's not just, oh, you got me, a good joke, haha. If you're in a relationship with someone who's always doing that, then you will start questioning your sanity and a lot of other things. It affects your confidence. You may enter depression. You may enter a lot of different things, because there's no foundation anymore. You don't even have oh, I can trust that the sky is blue and this is green, because they told me it was brown and purple, and I believed them. And you think it's silly now, but if you're in the relationship, it's not so silly, and it does not feel good. And so those are things that you need to watch out. So the question for you today is, are you dating a narcissist, and have you started to seek help about things that you need to do. And I do recommend seeking professional help. Yeah, it's good to start on YouTube and things like that, but really you need help. And so the question is, are you going to seek help? Are you willing to seek help? And that is the question for today. It's a big one. And the next point is, are you dating or with someone that really needs constant attention? Everything is all about them. It's about, if you really look at it, sometimes you may have to stand back, because it's not always like me. Yay, I'm a young kid. It's like, you did something successful. We should go out. But what do I get? Wait, I thought we were celebrating me because I did the thing that's successful, or it was my day or whatever. And so this is a little bit tricky one, because sometimes it could hide. Maybe you'll see it on your Instagram. You notice all your pictures are there in the front, they're taking a view, or different things like that, or they're getting attention like, I got my man, you don't have this. It's not really like the loving, true love pictures, even though those can be fake, but it's like, okay, this is mine kind of pictures. And sometimes this is actually really hard to be able to tell and read, but you want to be able to pay attention, because a narcissist generally makes it about them some kind of way. Even if it's, oh, I help you celebrate your day, well, what about me? Like, okay, that wasn't out of love, that was so that you can eventually get back or get the attention 5 days, because you gave it to me that one day. I'm going to trade you 5 days or a month of attention and throw some stuff at you. Yeah, and it can look in so many different ways. It can look crazy in gift giving, like, oh, here's your birthday's in the month, but I want that today. Okay, this is what you want for your birthday today, not in the month. Okay, I'll get you that. Okay, where's my birthday gift on the birthday day? I thought you now we're doing gaslighting, and it's about me and my attention, double standard. There's a lot of these things that wrap up itself, and it's like, I would have never done that with you. And so those things, you need to realize that these are some of the things. Again, if you put all this stuff together, this might mean that you are dating a narcissistic and that you probably need to seek special help. If you're married to a narcissist, you still need to seek special help, and they may not be happy about that. And that's one of the things that you're going to have to seek help. The next point would be the sense of entitlement. This, kind of looks like the tension's on them, but sometimes the tension, you get it in this is the shot, yay, this is me, yay, it's about me, the tension. But entitlement is like, okay, we're in a relationship and I'm entitled to have stuff because, not that I put in any work, not that I did a good thing. Matter of fact, I've been treating you like trash for the last 3 months. I'm not talking about a healthy relationship going through bumps. I'm talking about a narcissistic behavior. And so don't get them confused, because a relationship going through bumps can be fixed and worked out and things like that. But a narcissistic relationship is where they're entitled. They're the center. The earth revolves around them. And so they're entitled to things that they're not entitled to. And so whether that be extra money, like, okay, yeah, I know we were splitting the budget and we're doing this, but I'm entitled to blow that budget, blow our goals, and you're gonna fix it. And I'm entitled to it because this is just what I need, this is my thing, whatever it is. And it's like, really? Is it supposed to be? Now, honestly, if you've been in a relationship that long, you're not thinking those things. You're like, I must make it work. I must make it work. Honestly, this is the reason why that certain people, especially if you're a giver person, you're probably going to be really stepped on a lot by a narcissist, because again, they're entitled. So give me, me. And you're like, oh, it's right to give people, it's right to do good. And so the two don't work well together. Yes, if you're in a healthy relationship and you're a giver, that is good. It was my grand aunt who said, in a marriage, you should be trying to outdo your spouse of what you can do and love. Now, again, healthy relationship. Like, oh, yeah, she usually cooks because she likes to cook, but I want to do something special for her. And you cook and da-da-da-da-da. We're taking care of the kids or whatever it is. I know she thought it was going to be just her, but here I am. Whatever it is, you guys will take it out. Now it would be a healthy relationship. But in a relationship with a narcissist, Yeah, that doesn't happen. It's like push, give, I'm loving you. And they're like, take, and nothing back. And so, yeah, you don't want that relationship, and you don't want that situation. You're the choice on your relationships. I would say it's probably not going to be a healthy relationship. And because we are programmed to be scared of loss more than gaining, we will hold on to something that's bad for us because we don't want to lose. Like, what if they do turn around? What if that next person comes and changes their life? Or what if they decide? That's not up for you. You cannot change a person. They can only change themselves. And honestly, a narcissistic person doesn't, I'll just say what the information that I had to go through is not likely them to change. It's a disorder, because a narcissist will see that what they do with the right person works. So why should I change? And so these are things that honestly you have no control. You cannot change a person, and the only thing that's going to change is you. And so yeah, you need to be aware of those things. And if you've been counting along, we're on number 6, so we're almost done. So the next point is that there is a lack of accountability. And this is very vital because a lot of narcissists won't take responsibility for their mess ups. Yeah, this is one thing to lie, it's one thing to do, but it's like, okay, you were responsible to take the car and get the tags on it because I was out of town and we agreed that you would take care, and you come back and you got tickets. And who's responsible for paying the tickets? Well, you think the person that caused the problem would be, but there's no accountability. It's like, oh yeah, you do it, and it'll be smoother than you do it, but it'll be you'll do it. You take care of it. It was your fault from some kind of reason, because the last time that they helped you by cooking that meal, and you should have did something before you left. And you're like, I didn't have any time. We agreed. Yeah, no accountability. And then they'll throw some gaslighting in there. And so you'll get into a situation where you have an unreliable partner that will lie to you, gaslight you, but will never take accountability. And when you actually corner them enough, which not necessarily great things happen when you corner. In a good relationship, and I'm not going to, corner is probably a harsh word, but when you say, hey, you have this issue, you're not taking accountability, I noticed this, and I love you, maybe it's because you're going through X, Y, and Z, it's more stressful, you got this new job, and you're slipping in accountability in this area, and new relationship, maybe with counseling and help, you will come out of it. In a narcissistic relationship, it's like, yeah, we're going to go in cycles, even if we won't even go to the cycles, depending on what it is. And it's like, there's no accountability. There's not their fault. I'm not responsible. Yeah, I said I was going to be responsible, but I'm not going to take responsibility for that. And of course, they're going to be smoother than saying it, but somehow you will end up taking more load. And it can be even things that and this is really why I'm hounding on it, because especially if you're dating, marriage does not make things go away. It magnifies things. And so if they're doing this in your dating, when you get married, this stuff will be magnified. Oh, we agreed on 5 kids. You got 1. Well, now you've married for life, and you agree, and you thought you got a partner that's going to 5 kids or whatever it was you want. And now you agreed, and no, they're not going to take accountability that, yeah, you got 1 kid. But you agreed to be with a partner with 5. And then there will be excuses and things like that, but they will never really take accountability. And that was supposed to be our dream, but it was secretly your dream and their dream, and it was completely different. And so they'll never take accountability for that. And so you have to be aware that, yeah, if you're dating someone that you're at number 6 right now, that line up to this to a T, then it's not going to get better in a marriage. These things are something that you definitely need to get professional help. Of course, pray, obviously. I would never omit that. You need to pray. And so these are things that you need to check out and get some help and consider what you're going to be doing. And the last thing that I will say is, and then again, all this is going together, is they don't take criticism well. And so if you're like, okay, let me just find the right word. I know that if I come at them too hard, they're going to gaslight me. If I do it this way, then we're going to argue because they need some drama. If I do it this way, then you're like, okay, let's just, okay, honey, you got to stop lying to me. what are you criticizing me? Da, 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 da. And it's always like a fight. They don't take criticism well, because in their world, everything revolves around them. I wouldn't say they're perfect, because they'll use, I'm not perfect, I'll do whatever I want to do. No, that does not. You're not. No one's perfect, but if you're not striving, yeah, that can be a bad thing. And you have to realize, and if you're at number 7, you have to realize how this can impact your fire numbers. If, for example, and you're moving to a different place, your utopia. Your fire is all really about agreement on, okay, we are going to reduce our expenses, and we're going to, and hopefully if you listen to my other videos, you're going to make more money, da da da. And it needs to be a goal. If you make more money and the other person has access to your account, and you agree to reduce your expenses, but the other person is not agreeing, not taking accountability of making sure that's good, but they're spending stuff, they're gonna jack up your fire numbers. And it's not just about fact, when fire numbers feel so paper, but really it's about your destination and your dream. When someone impacts your fire numbers and you like, all right, if we say this much, we can leave corporate and start our other dreams in 2 years, and someone jacks it up and you get there 5 years late, 6 years late, or you don't get there all because you didn't let go of that relationship, yeah, that can really jack you up. Paradise. If you move, we're gonna move to this place, da 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 da, and they really, whatever you say, but this is gonna be a great vacation. I'm not gonna work for a year, and we're gonna do that. And then because I really didn't really want to go, I'm gonna make it a double HE hockey sticks for you so that you come back. Manipulation. And so all those things add up, and they're going to blow your utopia, because you think you're in alignment with a person, and you like try to say, hey, this is not what you said, and I'm trying to be nice, and they won't take that criticism like, oh, you're coming against me. Are you choosing this place over me? Wait, we agreed to do this. Again, not talking about healthy relationships that found out, hey, I thought it was for me, I did my best. No, we're talking about a person who's actually from day one had it in their mind that, hey, I'm going to have my own agenda. We're not going to be together. Well, we're not going to be together there. We're going to manipulate so we can get back together so we can spend the money I want to spend. Whatever it is, you want to be aware that this type of person can really jack up your future, and you should really be aware of them and make some adjustments. Get professional help, and that's what you need to do. If you've really been resonating with that, I want you guys to not only click on the link, because this is some tools to help you on your journey. I want you to like, comment, subscribe, and honestly share. Start sharing the videos. I'm really trying to help more people, and I really need your help to do that. I would really appreciate your help to being able to get the message out so people can move abroad, achieve fire, and think of things holistically, because there are some gotchas, and I want you guys to actually enjoy what your dreams are. So until that, I will see you on the other side.